We got a lot to go over today. Welcome back to the Sorry Shoe Podcast. It's your boy ARP. We back. Y'all see the thumbnail? Yeah, there's a lot of people there for the reason, even though the title only says what really happened between Max B, Goons, and Ja Rule. So we're going to lead off with that topic. We're going to cover that. I saw some updated footage that came out again of Ja Rule flipping out. We're going to go there. We're going to talk about the Tasha K element, the 50 Cent element, the Max B element, Max at the show. Like, we're going to walk down some of that, and then I'm going to give y'all my official take on what I think is going on. Okay. After that, what do we got? We got to cover this whole thing with Queso's father's reaching his sentencing, right? After telling on his own son. And Queso's co-defendant was sentenced as well. The co-defendant actually took the stand against him. So we're going to bring up that footage. We're going to walk through that. What else do we got? We got 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is going back to jail. He's got some more time that he's got to do. Did he violate probation? We're going to look into some of that. We're going to look into him getting himself in trouble on stream. The IRS possibly still being on his ass. We got a couple things to cover with 6ix9ine, man. Y'all know what I call him up here. I call him a terror, right? What else do y'all see in the thumbnail? Pat Beverly. I got to catch up on that. Last couple of days, we had a couple things going on with battle rap. Did y'all see the Cassidy interview last night? Catch up with that one as well. Great sit down between me and Cass. But Pat Bev, no, we're not skipping that topic. There's a lot going on there. There's some disgusting allegations. It looks like it's costing him a lot of money. And we'll see how we feel about it after we play those videos as well. What else do we got? I have one of the biggest Hollywood movie stars being homeless right now. And we're going to go over why he's homeless. Okay. We're going to pull up some of the things that put him in that position. I got some Jim Jones. We got some sports world. We got the fight coming up, right? Some of y'all rock with the Josh versus Jake Paul. We got some video to look at there, some analysis there. So yeah, we got a little small sports segment for y'all. I got Rampage Jackson in the sports segment. As y'all can see, we got a bunch going on. And I got some flash news towards the end, too. We got a lot. Got a lot. All right, we're going to start in about 20 seconds. Does anybody notice anything different about the camera? Does it feel different? Does it look different? Yes. The banner at the bottom, like right here. That says Sorry It's True Podcast, and on my social media and the Facebook and my Instagram, all of that type, that's gone. I removed it. I wanted more real estate. We do a lot of reading up here. We do a lot of paperwork. We do a lot of reactions. We pull up a lot of footage, a lot of videos. It was time for me to take back that, like 10%, 15% of the screen. Just more real estate for us to be on camera. Me to be here reacting with you guys in natural form. The video footage that you guys could see a little bit more if I got it on the smaller screen. So that's why it's different, all right? But the coolest thing about this, I want this on video, man, because I'm so proud of my two little ones. And then we're going to start this news. The little reverse camera, the little blue guy right here, this little blue guy, right? So you was able to see that only when I was on a smaller screen and we put content on the biggest screen. My son made that. He got a 3D printer a couple Christmases back. And I made him put the whole thing together. Set it up, install the software, learn how to use it. It was probably one of the biggest projects that I gave him as far as putting something together that cost a lot of money. Normally, it costs a lot of money. I'll put it together. But after he put it together on his own, read the instructions and everything, took a day. That's the first thing he made, a little character for my podcast. So it's been up here this whole time. But that's why that's kind of like sticks out. Like it doesn't really match everything else. That's on purpose. All right. Y'all ready? Let's go. Up first. Max B, and who else? Tasha K, Ja Rule. Let's start here. Tasha K shares receipts while Ja Rule drops laughing T video after jumping rumors. So it started out with rumors that Ja Rule got jumped at a restaurant that's been having a bunch of things going on lately, people getting hurt, shot, whatever, right? Turns out it actually happened at a concert, right? Was this at the Monica and the Brandy show, something backstage? But Tasha K shares receipts while Ja Rule drops laughing T video after jumping rumors. The story surrounding Ja Rule's alleged run-in with New York street keeps evolving. And the latest updates have only added more layers to the debate. So they've had some back and forth, right? Here's Tasha K. As I said, at Ja Rule's story developing. Bottom line, I heard you got your ass beat. Ain't nobody lie on you. This is why I thought it was at Say Less. They ran down on you, though. Now let us see your face without filter. That's a call out. And Tasha, that type of tweet is almost like you got personal stake in it right now. Tasha K has a huge platform. Huge platform. Hell, she lost a lawsuit to Cardi B, right? It's a big lawsuit that she lost. She don't care. She's still in her bag. I saw her do a video the other day talking about y'all can sue me all y'all want. People like Kevin Hart tried to sue me. It didn't go nowhere. This celebrity tried to sue me. It ain't go nowhere. I got money for lawyers. I make more money than a lot of you guys. I'm a millionaire too. Bring it on. I'm gonna do my style of journalism. Hey, who am I? All right. If you out here catching fades, you out here catching fades. But she puts up a receipt while she was incorrect about the say less thing. But now she's doubling down. But Ja Rule, show your face. I was wrong about the location, but you got your show your face. I'm right about that to my following. All right, so what's next? As I said, Ja Rule's story development. She shows more receipts about why she got that type of information. When you're a Tasha K, a lot of information comes to you. I'm a very, very small podcast, and you should see the amount of stuff that people send me. So I could only imagine when you got a platform as big as like a Tasha K or academics, or you know what I'm saying? People send you a million things a mile a minute. More receipts that she's dropping. But here's the actual brawl footage, right? Very hard to even make out Ja Rule. When I first watched it, I thought this was him here in the jacket. It's not. I believe he's off to the side a little bit more. No, he's over here, I believe. There you go. That's Ja Rule right there. He was over here, I think. Definitely not a restaurant when you hear that level of music in the background. What did you guys take from the footage? What did I take from it? Nothing. Shit. Skirmish, scuffle, look like a couple security guards there, couple guys, you know, maybe some goons around. It looked like there was some distance being kept, people getting held back. Whatever happened, it looked like it was over very, very fast. Maybe a quick disagreement, maybe somebody throws a punch. That video, if that's what's going around and that's what's super viral right now, and then the headlines is Ja Rule got jumped, I don't see it. I don't see it. So things get blown out of proportion sometimes, but let's see what else we got. Ja Rule responded to Tasha K saying, show your face. With the Christmas mug, with the Christmas hot cocoa, with the marshmallows inside. I'm giving it to him. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? When you're right, you're right. and what if somebody put hands on Ja Rule? We got more on this topic, of course. We're gonna walk it down. But what if somebody jumped on Ja Rule? Ja Rule is a god. He's impervious to somebody putting hands on him. Tasha, like, it's her style of journalism, and it's one of the reasons why she has the platform that she has. If I wanted to be more controversial like that, maybe we would be doing more views too. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather the organic route. Just being me. But he's not the person that's above an ass whooping. But all this, he got jumped and he got dragged and all this type of shit. Not only does the video footage look bullshit, I'm not gonna say bullshit, but don't look like somebody really got hurt in the midst of it. Don't look nothing like the Rick Ross out in Toronto footage where there was one guy that was left unconscious on the floor. It don't look nothing like that. And on top of that, he does feed into it, the stupid social media shit, and he does get on camera to show his face, and I can understand that pressure. You're a whole celebrity out here. He's still got his reputation of being a certain caliber of don't mess with me. I'm beefing with 50 Cent and I could go where I want. And I'm really out here in New York and I'm outside. I get it. So you do want to show people that you're not just an easy person to play with and is being exaggerated. He didn't have to, but he did. For anybody that's just, a super hater of Ja Rule. And obviously, people, that's not me. There's more footage here of Ja Rule in the midst of the scuffle. I'll tell you this. When I see a scuffle, people, I shouldn't even say a scuffle. I should say a jumping. When niggas is really getting jumped, when the crowd is really moving like that, I don't see people with their shades on. They take their shades off or they get dropped off or they get pushed off or whatever. And this footage, he's sitting here even with his damn shades on. It don't even look like he was the primary person involved, but his jewelry still on. This is like the adrenaline rush after the fact. Now he probably wants to still get something moving, get something shaking, but What is this showing me though? Said I miss my homie shit. All right, so he's backstage getting into shit. He said y'all niggas want to violate. So it's definitely something that happened with him or with people close to him, of course. But a man still sitting there after whatever happened when people tried to, as he said, violate. And he's still sitting, he still had his shades on. You don't have your shades on if somebody just jumped you. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's move more into this Max B element now. All right. Where people saying, we believe Max B was involved. Okay. Big rumor. Also dangerous for Max B considering he's out on parole right now, right? All right, so here we got Max B. Max B, don't let me or my people don't tie me or my people to anything. His tweet, his response. Don't tie. Okay, cool. So I mean, of course, like if some street shit's going on, you're actually supposed to tweet that. You're actually supposed to say nothing's going on, nothing happened. I'm on parole, cops is watching or whatever. You definitely don't go to Twitter or to Instagram and say like a million other these rappers would do and say, yeah, we just got him. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I want to believe this tweet, let's start to walk towards that. Why was Max even there? All right. Now, of course, enemies can end up in the same place. I saw this footage going around, right? This is Max B bumping into Ray J, and then Ray J inviting Max B to his sister's upcoming concert. Hey, you outside? Good to see you. Hey, we got something going on this week. Pull up.
Let's go. Look, all right, Brandy, Brandy shows Thursday. Brandy and Monica. Let's make it a movie. All right, so lock it in.
And Max moving around with some sort of big bear guy behind him, moving around with security as you should.
We got a good spot for y'all.
All right, backstage with Monica and Brandy, you know, they putting together the walkout.
They should have known better. I'm gonna sing my prison song. You gonna come out?
Max B got the fucking beer belly, don't he? Come on, man. I thought you was trying to eat good in there, man, or at least stay healthy when you knew that it was time for you to almost come home. Yeah, you gotta take care of that. They brought him out. Hey.
Hey. Max B's been free for 18 days and what he's done in that after 18 years the boss Don is back.
New York, stand up.
Hey. Hey. Fire.
Let's go. Look, all right, Brandy.
Fire. You should have told me that you was gone. I know like you used to do. What? We never forget it. You know, but all right, let's stay on topic, ARP. So Max B now, as far as him being at the show, he had business there. He was invited there. He's been moving around a mile a minute since he came home. Can you bump into your ops at a show? That's one of the easiest places to bump into your ops, I guess. A big show that a bunch of people in the New York or New Jersey area want to go to, show face, rub shoulders, be celebrities, take pictures, meet people, whatever. Here's my thing, though. There is not an inch of history that I remember or that I see online of Max B and Ja Rule having problems. Who do they both have issues with? So historically, Max B has issues with several members of the Dips or Bird Gang, right? Hell, a lot of people focus on Jim. He crossed paths with Jewels too. Story goes that Jewels and Jewels' team caught Max and his girl in a compromised position at like a store or something, and they gave him a pass, you know. And then we saw Max B doing interviews after that. Like, I don't got no problem with nobody from Dipset, nobody from Bird Gang. It's just Jim. I want his head on a stick. But remember, he said all of that. Like, I'm really quoting old school DVD era shit. And he said that after the fact. But prior to that, he definitely was getting at Jewels and some of them other guys. You know what I'm saying? Gargamel, the person that they supposedly replaced him with that was singing and all this type of shit. Maybe even Sin City, right? But historically, that's Max B's shit. Jim Jones, what other beefs does Max B have? Obviously, the people that he had the real situation with, and anybody tied to that, why he went and served time. What other beefs does Max B have? I mean, especially at this point, almost 18 years later, I can't tell you about any. What historically in hip hop do we see for Ja Rule? Shady Records, 50 Cent. What else? 50 Cent, G Unit, Shady Records type shit. So, yeah, we remember you dissing Eminem. We remember you talking about Eminem's mother. We remember you talking about Eminem's daughter. And so your mother's a crackhead and Kim is a known slut. So what's Haley gonna be when she grows up? Right? Whew, sheesh. And obviously, once again, G Unit to the point where 50 Cent and Ja Rule, they're gonna laugh at each other, whichever one leaves this earth first. It feels like they were just talking about that when Earth passed. Like, man, you're gonna have your time, and they're gonna be trolling each other and shit. What else would it fucking be? There's no diss songs between these two guys. No, not even the indirect shit. Not even the whole like Max or French and Ja Rule we know have beef. So something like that happens. So for example, think about the studio when Max B is in the studio, speaking of Max B, with K Slay and Papoose walks in. And he kind of approaches Max B off of the strength of his relationship of the guy that put him on. Rest in peace, K Slay. Right? We don't even have none of that, like the indirect shit. So Tasha K is Tasha K. I respect her platform. She built a huge platform. She's made millions of dollars. She gets a lot of tea. She gets a lot of updated information. She gets a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And even the location was wrong. Both these guys, Ja Rule and Max B, are saying that neither one of them guys are involved in anything with each other. I have no reason to believe so based on the footage and based on what they're showing. You guys were better off, to be honest, at this point. Unless Ja Rule and Max is just keeping it so street that there's nobody talking like everybody's saying that's bullshit rumor. Unless they're keeping it that street, you guys have a better chance of just saying this guy's involved. Let's keep it 1,000. You got a better chance just putting it on 50 Cent, okay? And 50 Cent doesn't miss a beat. Trolls Ja Rule and his milk dud head over alleged NYC jumping. What does this guy post up? 50 Cent. Now, who would do a thing like that? Just the punch emoji, the boxing glove emoji. Punching him all in his milk dud head. LOL. Now, mind you, when you put a caption like that, it's almost insinuation a little bit. Now, who would do such a thing, right? He's being an asshole and shit like that is it kind of leaves it out for discussion and debate. I want to say this though, when it comes to 50 Cent and Ja Rule, they obviously don't like each other. They actually hate each other, right? But if we really felt that they was both on it like that, shit would have been happening. They both are accessible. They both move around. They're both outside constantly. They both have money. All right. Or you guys are just at the point where it's just like, I just gotta let the goons catch you and be so disconnected from it. No, they've been beefing for like 20 fucking years. Like something would have happened. I don't think that they're on it like that. It's just a hatred that's just gonna sit there and they enjoy whatever the other person is going through. That's it. Okay, that's my opinion. So let's stop the Ja Rule and the Max B rumors. Okay. Next up, let's talk about K-So and his father and also his co-defendant, his friend that also took the stand. So his father was sentenced. We was waiting to see if he was going to get time. You better not get a significant amount of time after telling on your son. You birthed this young man. You brought him into this world and you literally took the stand against him. That will forever be one that'll go down in history from the drill scene. K-So's father says he still loves him, but he had to choose between him and his 3 younger children. Had to choose one of the less evil. Okay.
I tried my hardest with Hakeem. When he came to live with me, I didn't know how I was going to put food on the table for me or him. I have fought with him literally, physically. Whenever his mother called me, I dropped whatever I was doing to go get on him. I never missed a PTA meeting. I never missed a parent conference. The school knew me by heart. That's how active I was in his life. I'm not standing here pretending that I don't love Hakeem. I still love him. I never stopped loving him. And I know he hates me. Sometimes I wish I could tell him I love him, whether he accept it or not. Even if he spit in my face, I still would love him. That'll never change. I'm not only, I tried standing here for myself. I have 3 babies, 10, 7, and 6 years old. I don't want to lose them because nowadays in the urban area, I mean, I don't want to make this about race because it's 209 million Caucasians in the world, and it's 41 million African Americans, and black on black crime outrun white on white crime in a day. So this is not about race. This is about being a father figure in their life.
So why bring it up?
For myself.
Why even bring it up then?
If I lose those boys, I know I can't get them back because I don't have the fight in me no more. This situation took it all out of me. I'm not saying that I love them more than I love Hakeem. I just had to choose one of the less evil. It's a tough spot for a daddy. It breaks my heart when my babies tell me they have to lie to their friends about their father's whereabouts.
We got more footage to go on, people, but let me just react to that. You know what pisses me off as a father listening to that or watching that? The fact that he had to write it. That burns me. That really fucking burns me, man. You said you never missed a school meeting. You said anytime the mother called, you dropped everything and came running. You was active. You was there. Mind you, this is a street guy. He might have learned some of this shit from you. I don't know what type of father he really saw if you have such a lengthy jacket and you was active and you have a reputation in the hood, right? We don't need to get into all his backstory. We did that while we was covering the trial when it was going, but you had to read that. You're talking about the other kids that you're trying to save and the one that just got convicted for what, life, and that you just told on. And you had to read. Let's listen to the judge. Did y'all think that he was going to get a lengthy sentence?
Well, hold up on that. Because, of course, now you're going to be a multi-convicted felon, as I am adjudicating you guilty of these 2 offenses today. So let's begin with case 2020 CF 8261. For that 1 count of accessory after the fact, I am going to adjudicate you guilty. I am going to sentence you to the 1,898 days that you have already served. That's a Florida State prison sentence, but it is time served. That's going to be followed by 2 years of community control.
At that point, that's where the lawyer pats him on the back. She basically says, of the time that I'm giving you, you've already been incarcerated for. So that's time served. Then she says, followed by. The followed by right there. Once you hear community service or probation, that's where the lawyer picks up his hand and says, you're going home.
With electronic monitoring, to then be followed by 3 years of probation with the following special conditions. You have to pay mandatory felony court costs of $518. I don't think I need to say it, but it will be a condition. You are not to possess any firearm, ammunition. Okay, well, so as to count 1.
Now before we get to the friend, wow, he fulfilled his cause. Tell on my son and get the fuck out of here. Now remember, people, in Queso and his squad, they ran down on and shot somebody's face off and stood over somebody. And I believe it was related to his brother being killed, right? So the father that told your son was revenging a different son that was killed, right? Now, this whole gang war that's been going on, like your son Dep Queso got to take accountability for being. We saw the music, we saw the way he carried himself, we saw the way he acted on social media. He wanted to be that. He got lives and FaceTimes with King Von and then bragging and all this type of shit. He's got all the accountability from that standpoint. It is what it is, right? But when they try to get up out of there and they crash the car and then they break into some woman's house and take her hostage and try to change their clothes or whatever, and they call Pops, yo, come get us, and you went and got him, even if you didn't know why you was on the way to get him, because I believe that was some of his testimony or some of the angle that him and his defense played. Even if you didn't know why your son called you, first of all, you know what your son is into. You know what your son's about. There's footage, I believe, of you talking about you not wanting your son or anybody to revenge your other son's death. So you know the type of shit that's going on, and you from the street. You was a street gang. You are ex-gangster. Matter of fact, they even said from a different situation in the past, he told. Okay, yeah, like a nickname Blue or something like that in the street, that he was already known for not only getting down, but also being active. Okay. And when you pick them up, you know what's going on. Niggas hopping in the cars with the guns and all that type of shit. And then you drove and you even burned the clothes to help them get away. So when you catch the conspiracy to murder charge, this is your son. I think in a situation like that, it's one of two things. Now, if it's my son, it don't even matter, right? But let's just say it's a homie, because all of us is going to do everything in our power, hopefully, for our sons and our daughters. But you're supposed to still stick to certain morals and codes for even your people, right? Or even in general, if you put yourself in a situation, you're not supposed to flip. But let's just say it's not even a homie. Let's say a real close associate. You want to know what the best outcome that I would expect and I would want, and I would even be sending messages for in that situation? You know, I didn't come pick you up knowing that this was going on. You know, I got these 3 kids at home. You know, I just pulled up like, oh shit, damn, what happened? Oh, I guess, all right, I'm taking off. I'm driving off. So you get me the fuck out of here. I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna sit down until trial starts and all that. But you are supposed to get me the fuck out of here. You supposed to take the stand and say he didn't know nothing about nothing. I called him. I said, hey, what's up, man? What you up to, man? Come pick me up for real quick. And when he pulled up, he didn't know. We hopped up in his back fucking car, in the back seat, sweating with the guns and everything. Yo, go. And he had no clue, and he was scared, and we damn near took him hostage. That's how that's supposed to happen. You supposed to get me back home to these 3 kids. But you took the stand, you told on your son. That'll forever be something that you got to walk around with. Speaking of walk around with, hold on. Because do you think that he would be crazy enough to go back to the same area that he was raised? I hope he has money to get up out of there ASAP.
You have a bullseye on you. So you are going to have to lawfully protect yourself. But understand this, you are a convicted felon. I know that I've previously adjudicated you guilty of aggravated fleeing from a law enforcement officer. So you are not allowed to possess firearms. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I'll be gone. I'm leaving.
Okay. Well, Mr. Robbins.
He said, I'm gone. I'm leaving. You should leave yesterday. And remember, people, just because you can own firearms or you have firearms doesn't mean that you can't still die. The drop is the drop. The situation is the situation. A lot of people die with guns on them, right? It's just an unfortunate situation based on how circumstances build up against you. Now, the judge is telling you you have a bullseye on you. What do you think the streets are saying? If the judge at sentencing will look you in your eyes and say, look, man, I know you got a bullseye on you, but remember, you can't own guns. And nigga said, I'm going. I'm leaving. I want to try to find a corner of the earth where I won't even need a butter knife. You better find that shit quick. And I'm not even saying that Queso would send it, but even just having the name on you, the label on you of being a rat, and it being tied to such a heavy street war, you just never know. And you also got to protect your kids, right? Your kids still live there. You're saying that this is about them while you told to save them. You want to save them? You want to be true to what you claim is the reason why you told? You get them the fuck out of it. Forget his target, because they could get harassed. They could end up in fights. Your father's a snitch and all of this. They can get into all types of shit. So get them the fuck up out of there. That's the priority anyway. Now the friend ain't off the hook. His co-defendant that took the stand against him. How ironic. You took the stand and you still got sentenced to what?
That's correct. Okay. So as to count 1 for murder in the second degree, I am going to adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to 25 years in Florida State Prison with credit for the 2,136 days you have already served. Count.
Yo, telling on your co-defendant and still getting 25 years is insane. Y'all see the meme on the right, the Charlie Murphy shit? That is crazy. Now, you got Queso's father. I just finished saying he better get the fuck on, him and his kids. This guy he can't go nowhere. You get to now be amongst the wolves. What type of label on you? You don't want to be in there as a pedo. You don't want to be in there as an artist. You don't want to be in there as a snitch. You don't want to be in there as a switch sider. You know what I'm saying? You was Crip and then you got in there and turned and you're going in there with one of the most visible things that you just don't want to walk around with for 25 years. Y'all think he's going to have any problems in there? What y'all think? All right, let's stay on crime. This is a very crime stream today. We got assaults going on. We got sentencing going on. We got a lot going on. So y'all see the terror in the thumbnail, right? Mr. 6ix9ine himself, Tekashi. He looks like he's going back in, right? Look at this one. This sounds like he's addressing it. 6ix9ine explains why he's going back to prison soon.
I'm scared because I can't control it, right? Because at the end of the day, like when that shit happened in the mall, the guy threatened me with a gun.
How do you beat up a guy who shows you he has a gun?
Because I'm just like, yo, I live with that trauma. Like, yo, if I let him walk away, he probably is gonna get more people to, fulfill his attack or fulfill his plan, right?
Okay. Bad statement.
So we beat him up in like self-defense, but the court doesn't look at it like that.
Right.
I'm not armed, he's armed. Then they raided my house March 12th, so I'm fighting 2 violations. I'm fighting the drugs that was found in my house and the assault. The drugs that was found in my house, a CI, somebody close to me, around me, said there was drugs, guns, and cash in the house. So they brought 3 different canines.
You don't know who?
No. I'm scared because I don't.
He literally just incriminated himself on why he would be found guilty, and he don't even understand what he just said, possibly. If the courts see what he just said, self-defense is out the window. Now, let me tell you why. But first, I want to tell you a classic example that's in my memory, because I as you guys can see, I'm into court-related and crime and legal proceedings and stuff like that. It's an interesting niche to me to see what we all got to go through at times and how things can turn out. Okay. And I remember seeing this court episode. I forget what court TV or something. It's probably over 15 years ago. But it was a mother that sued a father for assaulting her child. Now, here was the circumstance. And this was all established. There wasn't arguing whether somebody got hit or not, or whether this daughter was being harassed or not. The circumstance was, you got the mother here and her son. Her son is chasing this father's daughter down the block. But while the son is chasing the daughter, he's got a bat in his hand. Okay. I don't remember if they were playing. I don't remember if he was serious. I don't know if he was acting like he was going to hit this girl. But this girl, this girl runs home like she's supposed to, gets her father like she's supposed to. Father comes outside, confronts the boy. The boy still has the bat in his hand. The father snatches the bat out of his hand and then duffs him in the face. Okay? Mother takes the father to court for assaulting her son. This is how it played out in court. I'll never forget it. He lost the case, the father that came out and defended his daughter. He lost the case because they ruled it and deemed it the bat, which you even said was the threat. You took it away. The moment you took the threat away, you didn't need to hit the small kid that was way inferior to you physicality wise, or he posed no more threat after the bat was taken away. That's what they broke down the circumstance of why he lost. I do feel a way about it a little bit, but this is how it plays in the court. Okay. Now, what Tekashi just said, 6ix9ine just said, and he told on himself as far as like, yeah, they're going to find you guilty for that. He just said it. He said his logic was his paranoia. Paranoia has no place in court as to why you did something. It has no place. I can't go into court and say I'm paranoid that he don't like me and he might do something to me or my family. So I got to it. I went to his house and I sprayed the whole shit up thinking that sooner or later he's going to come to me. So I might as well get him first. My paranoia. That's not going to, I might be right. I might be right. I might actually be getting him. We know how the streets is, but in court, in the legal system, oh no. Your paranoia ain't gonna work. It's not gonna go. So 6ix9ine is saying, out of my own paranoia that I live with, and fear that he's gonna go get some people and come back to finish the job, we jumped him then, and beat him up. They're not going to let it fly. And you're walking around on probation? There's no fucking way. Now, he mentioned that there was a gun involved. I don't know if the gun really existed, and if it did, if it was a similar scenario where they felt like the example I gave you of the father that took the bat away. Was it really still a threat? Was it in play? Like, we don't have those details in front of us. But for whatever reason, they don't see that as self-defense based on you and your crew beating the shit out of this guy in the mall. And then you tell on yourself, pretty much admitting that you were in the wrong from a legal standpoint by saying you did it for paranoia because you didn't want him to leave and come back with more people. The courts ain't going to go for it. Okay. Speaking of 6ix9ine, here's one of the biggest problems that he's having. His life, his livelihood, his success revolves around the internet, revolves around streaming, revolves around being on camera, revolves around interviews and trolling and his social media presence. I want to say that he's possibly still doing some music. We saw he was having an overseas run where he got a fan base over there. So I'm not sure how much money he's really making in music. But what we've seen pretty much ever since the Young Thug interrogation audio dropped, which is when 6ix9ine just had a rebirth, right? It's been all social media, all streaming, all content. It hasn't been music. I didn't see no singles get pushed. It's been all content. So being that you're all content based right now, as far as your whole brand, you get on camera and it's not just the people and probation and parole that's on your ass, right? But the IRS, you owe a lot of money, you've been telling people. This says the moment the IRS noticed 6ix9ine flexing $250,000 and immediately asked for his location, he owes them $30 million.
Are you gonna give it to the IRS though?
Yeah, I gotta pay my.
Hey Daniel, they just got me calling to get your location.
I'll say like 2 a.m. I'm gonna call my officer now. I'm gonna call.
Are you gonna give it to?
When flexing goes wrong, right? This is your brand, and that be the gift and the curse. It's no different than like an entertainer that has a ton of beef. It's like I gotta be feet on land. I gotta promote shows. I gotta be outside. I gotta be accessible. I gotta be in the public. But I'm beefing with everybody. I'm trolling like academics. Academics is making some mistakes possibly by putting himself out there more than maybe he needs to. He's a very controversial podcaster. He gets into it with a lot of people that have reach and money and power and street people around them if they're not street themselves. But he wants to go to these concerts. He wants to be. We just saw him cross paths with Trav. You never know how that would have went. But Trav then they're saying puts him on the phone with Meek Mill, and maybe Meek and academics, might try to sort things out yet again. But I could have just seen you and could have just been green light because I'm that loyal to Meek Mill. And maybe I feel like you've hurt Meek Mill's brand to the point where he lost money. It's go mode. That it could have went that way. You see that footage there with Trav and academics. They're standing next to each other while Trav is making phone calls. They say to Meek Mill, academics is looking like almost like a deer in the headlight a little bit, like not sure what to do. Like he's looking around, probably checking my security's ready. Are they looking? Security gets fucked over too sometimes, people. We've seen one laid out with Rick Ross in Toronto, right? But academics looks like there's cameras running. We're streaming. Here goes a possible op. I can't run. I'm stuck right here. I got to hold my ground. But why put yourself in the situation? But same thing, I mean, for 6ix9ine, man. He's got to be around, and that's part of his livelihood. And the moment you do things that help you line your pockets, you could be breaking some other shit, the IRS, your probation, etc. And he ends up in a revolving door, in and out of fucking jail. 6ix9ine. All right, next up, we got an ugly one. I like the pace we keeping people. 43 minutes in, we walking down these topics. This is a very ugly one, people. Allegedly for this whole piece, because when accusations come out that's this nasty, they kill your character, your credibility, your respect as a man in front of a lot of people. Your business gets crushed as well. We'll see some of that in this segment. But let's get some backstory for anybody that's missed why Patrick Beverley was recently arrested.
For something that allegedly happened with his teenage sister. Lucas, this is a story, obviously, that we broke, I think it was Friday. Mm-hmm. We knew that Patrick had been arrested, but we did not have a lot of the details until a little bit earlier today. Now this story has become much more clear, and we now understand, I think, what allegedly happened. Now, he's telling a different story, but this is some scary stuff if you listen to what his sister claims happened.
Right. We got the probable cause affidavit early Tuesday morning, which laid it out from his 15-year-old sister's point of view. Now, she says that early Friday morning, she left her mom's house in the middle of the night to go to a nearby park to meet up with her boyfriend.
Okay, so Thursday night into Friday morning, right?
Right. Yeah. When she returned home, her mom was awake, and she said, look, call your boyfriend, bring him back. I'll bring him into my home. And as that's happening, she calls Patrick Beverley to come over and address the situation.
Okay.
And Patrick Beverley was not happy, according to the sister. Right. Now, she says that he was upset.
Understandably.
She said that he was saying how she would ruin her life or things like that. And at one point, she claims that he put his both hands around her neck and squeezed until she couldn't breathe and she was feeling pain. And then he lifted her up to where her feet were dangling off the floor. It does not end there, though. She claims that he took her into another room by the throat and pushed her up against a wall, laid her onto a bed, and punched her in the left eye. Patrick then...
Did they call police?
Not yet. Patrick says that he followed the boyfriend because, mind you, the boyfriend was allegedly on scene for all of this to witness what allegedly happened. When the boyfriend tried to leave, Patrick followed him out, but the boyfriend ultimately decided to call cops for assistance. Now, Patrick went back in, and at some point in the night, his sister claims that he said, "I will be the relative to kill you." So once cops arrived at the scene, they looked at the alleged victim and noticed markings on her neck, as well as some red spots in her eye that she claims that Patrick punched her in. and said, "You're coming with us, and we are booking you for felony assault."
Wow. And
That's people why I say very, very nasty allegation and charges. If your sister co-signs the whole story, if your sister uh, upholds these charges on you, if your sister if you end up in trial and your sister, testifies against you, or it's the boyfriend that called the cops, they're saying, in any event, that would add a lot of weight to it because that's your whole relative, right? I want to assume he's been very supportive of his family because they reached out to him or he shows up for a supposed problem, right? So that sounds like a brother that's active in his sister's life, which is dope. Big brother, protect your sister. When I say big brother, protect your sister, here's the only bail that you can throw Patrick Beverly. And I don't say that, I'm not saying that in a metaphor when I say bail. I think he's already bonded out. Here's the only out you could throw Patrick Beverly with no justification to beating on your little sister like that, allegedly. But here's the bail. Older brothers, men of women in their family, that it is a big trigger. Okay. You can have a man that is harmless to the world, but do something to his mother or do something to his sister, and he might flip a switch. Okay. You could even have a womanizing man, right? A man that's out there taking down every woman in the world. He could be on his Stephen Diggs shit, got allegedly 4 or 5 women pregnant at the same time and shit, right? But let him find out that his sister is like even getting cheated on. He wants the boyfriend's head. That's how men and sometimes older brothers are, right? So when I say the only bail to throw him, maybe he had one of those switches that really a lot of brothers get flipped for. And maybe he had one of those moments of rage. The thing is, it's never going to excuse grabbing this little girl by her throat, lifting her up off of her feet, choking her with 2 hands, throwing her on the bed, and then punching her in her face, allegedly. You guys want a harsh reality? You guys want a sorry it's true? It's a lot of bigger brothers that done got mad at their sister maybe doing some shit and slapped their sister or some shit. Sorry it's true. Here's one for you since I'm the reference king. Do I have it down here? Do I have one of those posters down here? No, I don't. Anybody know New Jersey Drive? The classic movie New Jersey Drive? So the main character and his ex-friend, the one that ended up shooting at him, how did they get into it? How did they get into it? He's moving around. He's in the streets. He's stealing cars. He's tearing shit up. He's getting in trouble with the law. He's running from the cops. He's breaking the laws. He's doing all types of shit, right? But when he caught his sister on the block amongst all the niggas that's out there doing dirt and stealing cars or whatever, he tripped, snatched his sister. His man was like, "Yo, leave her alone," and then they end up fighting. His man comes back and shot at him. Am I the reference king? Am I? I might be. No, but real shit. Now, they ain't showing the scene him picking up by a throat and punching in the face. I'm just trying to tell y'all, like art depicts reality, and it really happens in these situations. Big brothers, they lose their fucking minds about their sisters. And these big brothers, sometimes they'll slap them, whatever. And I think there's even the big brothers. No justification am I doing, people. I'm just in sorry it's true mode. I even think there's situations, I know. There's situations where the big brother ends up filling the father's shoes. I'm not hearing nothing about a father in this situation. Where's the father? He might not be around. He might be gone. Big brother ends up being the pops, the protector, the whole like, no, you ain't doing that. You going to school, or nah, you ain't hanging out with them, or get off the block, or you supposed to still be a virgin. You got nerve even being outside with some boy at this time. That's how big brothers be. But Pat, the reason why you're gonna fall short regardless is you gotta keep up with me, love. You gotta keep up with me, Sandy. You gotta keep up with me. And I was actually about to say it. The reason why he's always gonna fall short, watch this, you didn't even let me land this plane right here. It's a girl. It's a girl. It's a girl. Some people would damn near feel better if it was a little teenage boy, little 16-year-old. You picked him up, threw him on the bed, punched him in the face or whatever. A lot of people like, fuck it, check your little brother. You know what I'm saying? It's a girl. It's a girl, B. And no matter how much an older brother can be enraged, whether you're playing the father figure or the bigger brother role or not, you have to control that. You know, I probably would looked at him like, yeah, you fucked up, and you had one of those raged out moments. If he would have came home, tore shit, yo, what the fuck are you doing with this boy? I'll get him, get the fuck up out of here, leave this house with her, push the boyfriend out the crib. She gets pushed in the room or some shit like that. That I feel like that shit happens every fucking day. But he allegedly, and then yeah, it's too much. It's too much. Sandy, did I justify it or am I in sorry it's true mode? Sandy, I'm gonna wait for you, Sandy, because I gotta respect my ladies in here. Sandy, are you with me? Did you catch my whole point on that? Queen is here. Queen says, my brother was never like that, but we were super cool, but he was a lot older. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Where's Sandy at? Sandy, are you here? Do you see the point? And if you have a difference of the take, I'll bring it up on screen and I'll further discuss for you. I got you. In the meantime, did I have another piece of this? Yeah. Sandy, I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. In the meantime, when I said it was affecting his money and his business, if he was in the NBA, he might be on suspension right now, but he's doing content. He's retired doing content now, right?
So where are we with Pat Bev right now? That's obviously the other big story. Yeah.
Yeah. No, obviously horrific police report. I don't, no matter how bad, whatever it is, I saw Roan's speech on it. I thought it was good. Like, that's his life and he's got to figure all this out. It's horrible. He is taking time, forced time away from Barstool, and we'll see if this turns out somehow not true. Like, we'll let the facts play out. Certainly with what is hanging there, we can't have them be part of what we're doing right now, and we got to see how it settles. But this is horrible how it read, and if there's any truth to it, he won't be back at Barstool.
So where are we with Pat Bev right now? That's obviously the other big story.
Yeah. No,
not only is it just overall bad, like I said, people, but especially in today's society that is very, very reactive to this type of stuff. Yeah, no sponsor, no platform can have you sitting up there and they're gonna see you as beating up a little girl. She's related to you, but they're still gonna look at it like you beat up a little girl. You know what I mean? So I didn't see. Oh, here goes Sandy. I got you. Okay. Sandy says, I'm here. I get your angle. But we just need to land on however his psyche developed. It's 100% fucked up what he allegedly did. That's what I hate about this new layout. Hold on. Let me switch to this. Okay, there we go. I want you to see my face. My bad. Once again, for the people that joined late, if you notice a difference, the banner at the bottom of the screen, I took away to give us more real estate for how I expand some of the YouTube videos when we read paperwork and all that. Just give us more real estate. So that's gone now, people. So now, but I notice when I'm on a small screen and I bring up a comment, it covers me. So, all right. 100% agree with you, love. 1000%. The psyche that I was getting into was more so a sorry is true discussion point, not a justification. I just want to be very clear about that. And definitely an opportunity for women to know that exists, not justifies it, but that exists 100%. It's not even just it's across the board for all women in your life as a man. You could be a womanizer, you could be a non-threat in society, you could never put your hands on anybody, but things that involve the mother, the sister, or the daughter, it's just a different arena. You could just be enraged, and he fucked up. he went too far. So I think his psyche was, and that's one thing that I said earlier. I said, I don't hear nothing about a father in this whole report. And he sounds like an active brother because he's off wherever he's at. He gets a call and he comes running. You see what I'm saying? But he came running and he just placed the energy poorly, badly, horribly, you know. But I'm pretty sure that boy was on that drive over there. You know, you're thinking about your sister in these situations and men lose it. It's not always going to be right. You know what this is also can be related to? The rapper's name, with all due respect and rest in peace, I think it's from Atlanta, that was killed recently, and the shooting was deemed self-defense. The son of somebody that's like on a talk show or whatever, I forget, Rashida's son, right? Allegedly, I still say allegedly, but that shooting that happened, what was that about? So allegedly she's there and she's in this abusive relationship. And the only reason I'm going to say abusive relationship is because we saw footage of them fighting in a bedroom. I'm not saying it was from the same situation, the same night, but we saw footage of him moving on her, right? So they into whatever got going on allegedly, and here come the brothers or the friends, the male protectors, and somebody lost their life that night. Okay, so the same way I say, them fathers, them brothers, them uncles, them older cousins, the same way I reminded the chat, ladies, be careful when you make those calls. Remember when I said that? I said, be careful when you make those calls, because those men are in a different mode. We are very protective of the women in our life. And you ladies could get somebody killed like this, or get me put in jail like this, because it's my girl, it's my wife, it's my sister, it's my mother. We go for the women in our life, especially in our family. So be careful when you make those calls. And now I'm in this situation. Should I have shot the boyfriend? No. Maybe I should have faded him or something. But now I'm going through this because I came like that. Should I have came and lifted her up by her neck and punched her in the face? No. But that's the energy that came. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? There's consistency even to stories like that we've covered already. So thank you, Sandy. I appreciate it for even giving me the opportunity to think about flushing in more of the take and keeping it interesting. Oh, this is all 55th Street. Shout out to you, Tried in the building. Any other of my fellas or my ladies before I move on? Any other of my fellas, my ladies? Thank you, Jay. Queen says the mama should have just put him out. My mama would have handled that situation easy. Yeah, I haven't seen those details of what happened with the mom in that situation, but some moms will flip out in that too. They say y'all women could pick up cars when it's about y'all baby, right? That's what they say. Okay, cool. Shout out to all the fellas in the chat that understand that we got to be careful when I'm talking about. And shout out to all the ladies that either understand or are learning to, like, yeah, you got to navigate that too around these men. Okay. But Pat, all right, moving on. We got more crime. This has been a crime type of stream today, people. Future's brother. All right, what do they got going on?
Federal agents say 2 men are now in custody after a suspected fentanyl distribution operation was uncovered in Forest Park. Investigators say the operation was run out of an Airbnb that a federal task force raided late last week. Agents showed reporters what they say is 21 kilos of fentanyl recovered from inside the rental home. They also displayed $380,000 in cash they say was seized, along with another $3,000 found on a man who tried to run. Officials say the arrests are part of a larger federal push to track down the sources behind the region's drug pipeline.
These drugs like fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, they poison our community, but they have second order effects and spillover effects like addiction, like overdose, like violent crime in our community.
The suspects are Rico DeVille Bryce and David Esteban Montillo Diaz. Both are expected to go before a federal grand jury for formal charges. Tonight, federal
That's a lot. That's a ton. All right. Well, Future does a lot of that drug rap, right? But we don't be feeling like Future's super active like that. Shit, some of these rappers come out and said Future was never really like that, but he made the music. I don't know. But your brother and you now being associated, being that you are Future, being that they're gonna think that you fund him, being that he works allegedly within your record label, Future's gonna get looked at, if not already. We got some more details here, though. Future's brother, FBG Casino, faces federal drug charges for fentanyl bust. The feds say Casino was caught fleeing from a house where they found 21 kilos of fentanyl and $380,000 in cash. They even want this, the $380,000. You don't think the government wants to claim that? The IRS wants to tax that. That's too much money to have under a mattress when you're in the middle of getting in trouble for an illegal substance. Having $380,000 on your mattress isn't illegal, but it damn sure becomes a piece of evidence when you get caught with this type of shit. Am I lying? Okay. So this is a picture of Future and his brother here. I honestly never seen him before. I think I heard the name. I would have never been able to tell you what he looks like. I see the casino tatted on his neck here. Okay. All right. Free Band's rapper and brother of superstar Future, FBG Casino, has been arrested and charged with conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute fentanyl. All you rappers rapping about fentanyl these days too. Casino real name Rico yada 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 was busted Friday, November 14th, along with the co-defendant David yada yada yada. And this is in Georgia, the arrest. According to authorities, when the agents searched the house, they found 21 keys. We saw that. You got they also located 300 grand in a cardboard box, and 80 of the grand was in a Goyard bag. That way they believe belongs to whatever this name is, Boos, and which appears to match a bag he has seen carrying in a photo on his Instagram. What the here you go. Here we go with the fucking Instagram evidence. What? Is that what this picture is about to show me below? Of course it is. Look at this. Somebody come look at this. So they seized this as evidence, found some money on that they're capturing as evidence, and here goes the Instagram. I hope you did this picture on accident. I hope you wasn't with the bag like, yeah, you know, I'll be having my, and it's the on your. People will never realize how much their Instagram is evidence against them. I probably have some stuff on my Instagram that, provided certain circumstances, maybe could be used against me. I don't know. I hope not. I ain't into shit. I ain't breaking no laws, law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. But Jesus Christ, even if I wasn't that smart, I've seen enough on the internet to realize if I was in the life of crime, I don't even know if I would have social media. Now that I think about it, but even if I was, you wouldn't have any associations to anything. I would never post a picture of me being at that address, being in that particular car, having that type of bag. We robbed these guys for this watch, and here I am in a picture, just happen to have a watch on. It's insane. It's insane, people. This operation is an example of the power of the task force in disrupting deadly drug trafficking operations, said Paul Brown. So, well, what's this number about? Hold on, what's this? Telling authorities that, all right, they also accused the rapper of not being forthright about his finances, telling authorities that he makes $2,166.67 a month as a studio manager, while up until recently living in a residence valued at $4 million and having 3 vehicles in his name, including Mercedes and BMW. Well, this is where you hopefully get around this piece. What are we talking about? Big bro, big multi-million dollar big brother Future. How much money did Future sell? Like he sold like his full or a piece of his catalog or something like that. He made an amazing amount of money in that situation, and then he still is one of those chart topping guys. So Future has a shitload of money. You could easily justify or say that, yeah, I make $2,100 a month, but as far as all this other stuff we're talking about, my $4 million crib and all these Lamborghinis and shit, Future gave me that. I think you'd get away with that part, right? But if this ends up being a charge, then there's more at stake. because then they want to start charging you with things, even so they can get into discovery, get in the weeds, start to pull on bank accounts, start to have you prove some of your income, start following the money. For all my Wire fans, we understand how big things get once you leave the corner of the couple keys of fentanyl and you start following the money trail. You follow the money trail, you open up Pan's Labyrinth, okay? So they start getting into a process like that. Now you got the IRS, you got all these different type of charges on you. The weight of all the stuff that they got on you starts to create turncoats, snitches, plea deals, all this type of stuff. Boom. But even within all of that, that's why I mentioned Future's name. I ain't reaching. We see it all the time. This is the type of stuff that even if your brother doesn't say a single word about your brother, the ties start to get created. Who owns the house? Whose mortgage? Whose name is the mortgage in? Who purchased the car? Where'd the payment come from? Is he financing at all some of this drug operation? All of that shit, B. Who's paying for the studio that some of the drugs was? All of that. So it's not just the person that got put in the bracelets. Everybody associated with that person needs to go red light, people. Let's all make sure that we're clean. If you can get clean. And Future got to pay very close attention to this, not just because he wants to see his brother free, probably, but because then people will find a way to possibly tie his ass in too. All right. I think we're off. Are we off crime? Actually, this got some crime in it. We still got a little bit of sports coming up too, people. But this one right here got a little bit of crime in it, I guess. But that's not even why I went there. I went there because this did surprise me the first time I saw it. Kevin Spacey says he's currently homeless, claiming his finances have collapsed in the aftermath of his sexual assault scandals. What's some of the biggest movies Kevin Spacey has been in? Fugitive comes to mind, right? Some Fugitive, right? What else comes to mind with Kevin Spacey? Either way, he's got a huge resume. Imagine somebody of his caliber being homeless now.
Former House of Cards actor Kevin Spacey says that he is currently homeless due to a bleak financial situation that follows his sexual assault scandals. He says that he's been living in Baltimore, Maryland for the past 12 years, and he had to move out of his house due to the cost of the scandals. All of his belongings are currently in storage right now, and he says that he is hopping from hotels to Airbnbs. He admitted that he literally has no home. He said that he is going where work is, and he said there is a bright side, at least he's not bankrupt. Former House of Cards actor Kevin...
Did I say Fugitive? Was that incorrect? Am I really thinking about The Negotiator when I said that? I might be. With Samuel L. Jackson. I pulled it up in the background because that's what made me interested, like I said, like on the crime side of things, right? For him to be flat broke, Airbnb, couch to couch, hotel to hotel, I said, damn, how much did these sex scandals hit him? And what's the details behind them? Beginning 2017, Kevin Spacey faced multiple allegations of SA, misconduct, and inappropriate behavior, most involving men. I didn't know that till this morning when I pulled this up. Like, that doesn't mean anything wrong. I'm just saying I didn't know this. Key moments in the scandal. Anthony Rapp accusation, October 2017. Actor Anthony Rapp alleged that Spacey made a sexual advance towards him in 1986 when Rapp was 14. 1986 coming back this long ahead, 1986 all the way to 2017, but he's saying he was 14 at the time. All right. Spacey issued a public apology, but claimed he didn't remember the event. If somebody apologizes for something, boy. All right. Let's continue. Multiple additional accusers. After Rapp's accusation, more men came forward across the US and UK, including, stop right there for a second. Another classic example of the floodgates being opened. One person comes public, and you got a bunch of other people that come behind. Some might be bullshit, but some might be like, shit, since we talking, me too. All right? Crew members from House of Cards who allege harassment and inappropriate touching. London theater actor from Spacey's time at the Old Vic. More than 20 people reported misconduct. 20 people? Several men who allege assaults in the early 2000s. Criminal charges. Spacey faced criminal charges in multiple jurisdictions, including Nantucket, Massachusetts. This was in 2019. Indecent assault and battery charges later dropped after the accuser declined to testify. London, UK, multiple counts of SA. Spacey was acquitted in 2023. Civil suits. Most notably, Anthony Rapp sued Spacey for battery and emotional distress in a civil case in New York. Spacey won. Jury found him not liable in 2022. Several other civil claims resulted in confidential settlements. Even that one above that he won. It's a lot of money in lawyers' fees still, right? But then he also got these behind-the-scenes settlements. You heard the reports of what Shannon Sharp allegedly settled for, right? Think about stuff like that. Think about a scenario where you have a high-profile actor, celebrity, podcaster settling behind the scenes. They got all these endorsements and money to protect, and it could be extremely costly. What they say about Shannon? Did they say like 10 to 15, 20, 30 million or something like that, right? Allegedly. All right, let me continue behind the scenes. What else we got here? Now let's talk about some money. 31 million ordered to pay House of Cards producers. 31 million. After being fired from House of Cards, the production company MRC sued Spacey for violating their sexual harassment policy. So they got in on it as well. In 2021, arbitration ruled Spacey must pay 31 million, causing production delays and losses when Netflix cut ties with him. So he lost his situation with Netflix. The ruling was upheld in court in 2022. This is the single largest verified financial cost of the entire scandal. Lost future earnings estimated at tens of millions of dollars. Film roles canceled. All the money in the world canceled. Billionaire Boys Club. He was shelved and released quietly. Numerous projects and negotiations collapsed. TV earnings lost. House of Cards final season salary $6.5 million lost. Profit participation and bonuses lost. Estimated full loss 20 to 40 million. And then also add on top settlements that are not disclosed and also legal fees. I mean, when you read that, you could almost guess. Could you be from the 40 to 50 million dollar mark? Could you be? Could you be? And the shitty thing about losing money, losing big lawsuits, losing like think about Tasha K, right? Tasha K lost a significant lawsuit to Cardi B, but Tasha K doesn't fall into the sewer because she still has money coming in. You see what I'm saying? When there's no money coming in, yet it's all going out. That's how you turn wealthy people or rich people broke what seems to be overnight. No money continuing to come in. And you got to look at it like this. It's no different than what Patrick Beverly could or may go through, allegedly. When you have certain accusations, certain convictions, certain apologies that you make, certain settlement, whatever. You also got all these sponsors, all these film producers, all these directors that just can't touch you. I just can't touch you. I can't work with you. I can't. You are a great actor. You are perfect for this movie that I just wrote. But me putting you in this film fucks us all over, hurts us all. We get the bad reviews. We get a certain demographic of people that might be against us, revolt against us, riot against us, be outside our release on our red carpet, waving signs and all this type of stuff. And that's where you end up indirectly burning all your bridges to your network. So no money coming in. And this is how you end up with somebody as big of a Kevin Spacey that made it in the film industry falls down. That's how. All right. What I got for you guys next? Oh, we almost had a little bit of sports. I told you guys, I owed you guys, right? We catching up. We catching up with everything. And all this stuff will probably get clipped for you guys too. But was this awkward for Jim Jones to hear this in his face, considering that Mel Murder, should I say Mel Matrix instead? Mel Matrix just came home, and the whole public thing of Jim embracing him and putting the five of all numbers, right, around his neck and all this type of shit. Look what Mike Epps tells Jim Jones to his face.
Those are the wrong journeys to celebrate, young men. There's no reward for coming home after 30 years. You don't get no fucking care package. You are a failure. Get your ass out here and help these kids. Pay that back forward. You see what I'm saying? That's the reward. I got niggas all the time come straight home. If I don't do what they want me to do for them, I'm a sellout. I'm a suck ass.
Right.
I done did the whole bit with them. I done been to Walmart 100 times, Jay paying and meeting guards, doing all kind of shit I ain't supposed to be doing, fucking with you. But
as soon as you say no one time,
they done forgot about the other 99 times you said yes. Those are the wrong journeys to celebrate, young men.
Yeah, so 3 factors there. Of course, the one time you say no, we all been in those type of situations. Then the actually riding a bid with somebody and not incorporating it into your daily fucking responsibility as if you're the one that broke the law, right? Sometimes that's a tough balance, you know. It depends on how close you are to the person, how loyal you are to the person, how much help you guys expect between each other, right? But I do like the first piece. That's the biggest piece to me. That's the most important piece to me. The celebration of people coming home for certain things. I did say that the other day. I brought up the clip from Choke No Joke because he did an interview. He kind of went in on Max B. You know, he was like, Max B literally is coming home from allegedly, should I say it? No, he's convicted for being a part of a man losing his life because he wanted to set the guy up to get him robbed, being a broke bum ass nigga, right? And that man's life was lost, his family impacted, his loved ones still possibly grieving, and the whole world is celebrating Max B. And when I watched that, I said, you know, like I'm enjoying the entertainment side of Max B's come home just like everybody else, but I do got to ground myself and remind myself, like, you can't forget that element, ARP. That's just how I am. I can't forget that piece. So what would be my middle? I really wish that of all these talking points that Max B got, of all of these times he's been in front of a camera in less than 2 weeks already. He's already done multiple interviews. TMZ's running up on him on you know what I'm saying, in front of hotels, and he's doing all these drops. He's a very talkative person. He's camera friendly. I just wish that there would be a sit down that he does where he addresses why he went away. You know, it would be great brain food for the little shorties coming up that's idolizing him and looking at him. And God forbid, some of these people that was like, that's how I get all the attention, by going to jail? Shit, sign me up. You know, sometimes it becomes your responsibility when you got that much attention, that many people fucking with you, that many people following your actions and your words. Sometimes it be really your responsibility to remind people, hey, can't lose sight of why I ended up there. Some unfortunate things happen. I wish it never happened. You know, something to put it out there that, hey, don't take the wrong, you know, message from me being incarcerated for almost 18 years. And also, you know, let me not make it seem like I have no remorse at all for people that lost their life. You know, I would love to see if he can do something like that in one of his interviews. We'll see, though. It might be tactical for him and his management team to never go in that area and try to hope that everybody just forgets about it and focus on his new wave, pun intended, of success and attention. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, sports. Y'all watching it? Do y'all care? Do y'all not care? Do you like this opponent more than Tank? Do you respect this opponent more than Tank? The height difference, I don't know about the weight difference. Could be at least 50 pounds, maybe, but the height difference is crazy. Look at the face-off. Look, when he looks, I paused it where he's looking straight. When he's looking straight, he's looking at Josh's collarbone. His eyes don't reach his chin.
Let's go.
Josh probably got a little reach advantage on him too. All right, so just from the face-off standpoint, when I look at it, some boxers train when they shadow without hitting an object, punching up a little incline and angle up. I think De La Hoya did it a lot. My father did it. I watched him do it his entire life when he shadows. And some people try to teach that from a shoulder strengthening standpoint, right? Not necessarily like, hey, you're always training to be braced to fight taller people. Some people are super tall and they're never going to fight people that are this much taller than them because they're already 6'3", 6'4", like a Klitschko or some shit like that, the damn self, right? But the shoulder strength is something that people shadow and spar to actually maintain and to further develop, and you do that by punching up on an incline or an angle a little bit more when you shadow, right? It's almost like the concept of when people punch with weights in their hand a little bit. You drop the weight and your hands feel more free. They feel faster. They feel the weight that your body carries behind your punch. It feels easier to let loose when you subtract the weight. So different training methods and styles to strengthen different parts of your dynamics to hopefully give you advantages when you are in the ring. All right. Last but not least, on that fact of the height difference, without even realizing, you burn out your shoulders and your arms a little bit during the course of the fight if you're not developed in a strength and endurance factor for punching at a different angle than you train your whole career. You know, you'll be in the 6th or the 7th round, and your shoulders and your arms will be, you know, your punches will be slower. Your arm fatigue sets in even more. You don't realize why. It's because you've been punching higher up on an angle all fucking night once the lights cut on, and you've never really done that before while you trained. So it's not like you can get in there with a sparring partner for the next 2 months and start sparring with a bunch of people that's taller than you for practice. This fight is December 19th. It's less than a month away. Well, maybe you can. Let me say that. Maybe you can. But also the closer you get to a fight, the more you got to pay attention to your conditioning, your weight, and not getting hurt. So some people will say that they train and they spar heavy all the way up close to a fight, and some people are opposite. You know, no different than people that got a diet for bodybuilding events. It's just like, all right, now I got to cut all the food at this point and just peak for the night in question. So I think this is a big challenge for Jake. A big challenge, that height difference. Okay. Let's hear from Jake himself. Let's see what he's saying about the height difference and some of his reaction after the face-off.
You look forward to facing off with Johnson. To break down the face-off, what about his size? What did you say anything? Did he say anything?
No, we didn't say anything, but he looks intense, focused, locked in. He's obviously very, very tall. Looking up, my tallest opponent. My eyes are at his chest level. But yeah, he's locked in. I'm locked in. I don't think there's fear in his eyes or in my eyes.
Yeah, Jake, tell us the difference between your face-off with Gervonta, where you're a head taller looking down, and now looking up at Joshua.
No, it's surreal. All of it is very, very funny, and my neck started to hurt after looking up for a little bit.
Even that needs conditioning.
He's very tall.
Even the looking up needs condition. Your neck needs conditioning. All of that, yes. I feel like people more commonly in boxing train their neck than they do their shoulders for punching up, though. That's where you see people with the helmet type thing on, attached to a chain and weight, and they're doing the neck exercises. So everybody, and some people also try to build up their traps. They believe that helps you absorb some of the shots to your lower face or your chin a little bit more by building up your traps. Everybody's different the way they train and the way you're being taught in some of these gyms. Everybody's different. But isn't that ironic that he goes from looking down on his opponent that much to now looking up to his opponent? All right, here's the last piece of this. Like I said, I owed you guys a piece of sports to catch up. Anthony Josh, he's a real heavyweight. He's a real heavy. Is he the most dangerous heavyweight in the world? No, there was a time where people looked at him as, is he next? And he had his moments. He's had some significant wins, but he's also had some significant losses. He's strong. He has a real, true heavyweights punch. When I say that, I mean the type of person, the type of boxer, the type of weight class, the type of technique and physicality that's been trained, that a placement of the wrong shot will get almost anybody out of there at any time, or at least hurt you bad. He's a real heavyweight. He's a real professional pro level heavyweight. So was Tank. But I only say that because I say Jake, we've seen him with a lot of people don't in matches that people don't respect. Tank is a real fucking fighter, but the size difference, people was like, Tyson would have been nice, but Tyson was how old when they fought? And Tyson, and it looked like it was rigged, allegedly. This is a real test for you, buddy. And I think if he pulls this off, he will get more respect. All right. I want to pull this up. This was a classic round from Josh, though.
You don't really want to land the right hand because you're outside. You're in there with a bigger man, so you just want to show him the right hand to try to get Joshua to commit with a counter punch, and then you can counter the counter.
Round number 3, Manny Robles also telling Andy Ruiz Jr. that you see what happened after you double up on the jab. During the exchanges, Ruiz showed that he can be a dangerous man as well.
Anyone with fast hands in boxing can be dangerous.
Anthony Joshua, heavyweight champion of the world, coming in here to Madison Square Garden, wanting to showcase his skills. He is doing that so far, but getting a bit of a test here early from Andy Ruiz. Ruiz in the white and gold trunks, Joshua in the white with black trim. See the punches, at least the jabs, through 2 rounds, 9-3. Ruiz mixes it up. Good uppercut to the hook. Puts Ruiz down. Wow, that was fast from Joshua.
5, 6, 7.
More than 2 minutes to go in this round. Anthony Joshua is a composed and ferocious finisher. Watch this.
21 knockouts in 21 wins.
Watch this, they say.
The champ with the right hand.
He landed another big
Ruiz
right.
staggered and an uppercut, trying to hold on. Strafing right.
Ooh. Oh, he's hurt.
Ruiz comes to fire back.
And
He's
Joshua's
hurt. He's down.
Andy Ruiz caught him with a sharp left hook. Joshua's hurt. 6, 7.
He is clear-eyed, looking to the eyes of Michael Griffin. But what an answer by Ruiz. Stunning. Joshua on unsteady legs. Both men with knockdowns in his 3rd round. The crowd is stunned.
And I don't think Anthony Joshua thought Andy Ruiz would be able to stand up to that assault.
Sergio, how often do you see after you have a knockdown, you figure, all right, let me finish this guy off, and then you're the one in danger?
Both men down, but I think Joshua...
I will, even though we got this sped up, I will be careful the rest of the round. I mean, most of my boxing heads in here, you've already seen this fight in this round. It's a classic round. He gets hurt again. But what he shows in this round, he shows power and the strength of his punches, right? He showed speed. He showed heart by getting up in the moment and continue to press forward. Showed a little bit of undiscipline. There's times where he's tying up a little bit while he's being hurt. But some people would tie you up way more than he was doing, considering he got hurt pretty bad during this round at different times. He could have tied up a little bit more, probably. Sometimes the adrenaline, the training kicks in, and you're still letting your hands fly. It really takes the discipline, especially people that have been in that situation, to collect yourself after being hurt bad, being wobbled, your equilibrium being off, all these things, and still have it in you to know to tie up or to evade or to get on your bike for a little bit, right? It's a lot of discipline that takes to do that. So I've always looked at him talent-wise, skill-wise, training-wise, power-wise, technique-wise as a very, very solid heavyweight. He's not the top, but he damn sure ain't the bottom of the pack neither, okay? Very dangerous guy. I respect Jake Paul taking him. And we're going to see how it goes. If you want a prediction from me, I would lean to Josh. I really would. I would definitely say that Josh should take this fight. Jake Paul doesn't pack a small punch, though. You know, anybody could be caught, and Josh is susceptible to getting hurt. I'm not saying that he's got a glass chin, but his chin isn't the best of, he don't got no Mike Tyson in his prime type of chin. Mike Tyson in his prime was taking shots all over the place. I don't know how he stood up to a lot of heavy blows, Tyson, when he was in his prime. But anyway, we'll see. All right, 2 more quick flash news, another 30 seconds, and we're gonna wind down. Incredible. I would have never guessed this. The Weeknd makes history as the highest earning touring artist ever after his After Hours Till Dawn tour just made over $1 billion. You mean to tell me he's over the Drakes and the Beyoncés and the Kendricks and the what? 1 billion? Yeah, I would have lost that bet if somebody would have asked me that. That's incredible. But here I go, being an asshole, having fun with it. Just reminding people who the true king is, okay? Look at this shit. This shit says Michael Jackson has earned $3.5 billion since his death, which is more than any celebrity, not musician, any celebrity, dead or alive. That stat from the grave is incredible. That's insane, B. And I did see the trailer. I will be watching the Michael movie when it drops. Of all movies and biographics, you know, I feel like this is the most important. The NWA one was important. The Notorious one was important. They fucked up the Pac one. They fucked that up. But movies like that tend to be pretty important to the culture, especially the music industry. And Mike is the biggest guy out of all of them. So they got to get that right. Now, the trailer looked good. Not only did I watch the trailer, I watched the Easter egg breakdown of the trailer. And the trailer was pointing out, the Easter egg video was pointing out small details that only big Michael Jackson fans know. That show development of like some of the small pieces of some of his controversies, some of his big turning points, some of his rise. And that gave me some confidence that they might be doing right by a movie like this. Now, the Bob Marley one was another one that was important, now that I think about it. But when I think about it, I'm just like, my skepticism is like, how do you capture the mega career and story of Michael Jackson in the length of a movie? You know, it's not going to be a 6-7 hour movie. It's not a documentary. Like, let's say, Saving the Last Dance for Michael Jordan. Extremely important. It's Michael Jordan. It's Michael Jordan. You got to get it right. But they did it in a series, you know? So they capture all these mega moments and all these pieces and the ups, the downs, his father passing, and, you know, and I felt like when I saw the announcement for Mike, I was like, I would rather a documentary, like, so you could get everything. That's my only concern. Movie length, you got to jam it all in. He's just too big for that. I see people that say or argue he's top 5 most famous, or top 3 most famous people of all time, including Jesus. And every time I see people argue that, I'm just like, do they have an argument? It's crazy what and who Michael Jackson. And then some of y'all have the nerve to say, oh, Chris Brown. Chris Brown is mega. He's a huge star. But Michael Jackson his shit wasn't from Earth. What he did, his. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. We caught this one early from Jay, right? I was in the middle of rewatching Cassidy. Oh no, I didn't see this one. Shout out to Jay. She says, I was in the middle of rewatching the Cassidy live to make clips. Dedication. Nipsey voice. Rest in peace to Nip too. Thank you, Jay. Jay is one of our dedicated folks and really, really out there on the ground, feet on pavement, clipping up on Twitter. We're going to be doing more clips on Instagram. We're going to be moving more in that realm as well. And I'm having some conversations. I had a homie of mine that told me I'm tripping. A close friend of mine from the Sandbox who did a lot of, my man, I'll say his name, my man Mech. I actually did some camera work for some RBE battles too. You can see him in some of the footage on stage. But my man Mech, that I knew since school days, he had a blow up on Facebook that is like millions and millions and millions of views. He did short films, and he has so much knowledge on the Facebook side. And he's done so much in that space. When he talks, I listen. And he told me, he said, you're not on TikTok? And I was like, nah, I never really got over there. He was just like, what are you doing? Because he watches clips on the podcast. He's like, why are you not on TikTok? I'm just like, he's like, yo, you got to hire somebody or something. Not even just for the podcast, even for the RBE clips, you know? So I also spoke to Quarter Lab about that when we had our monthly call last week. You guys will be seeing more stuff on Facebook, more uploads on Facebook, Quarter Lab might be helping us out there. The lovely Jays of the world is building up her profile and her presence also for the podcast as well as herself on Twitter and TikTok. I got to discuss with Quarter Lab and possibly with even some of our supporters on who wants to get in on the mix. I don't know if I'm going to end up hiring somebody, but it would be the type of hiring where I would be expecting it to be ran like a job, like daily activity on TikTok, daily editing of quality clips and footage and content that goes there. So I don't know. I'm going to follow up a Quarter Lab. And then after that, I'll let you guys know. Don't flood my DMs right now, please. But I might have to come to you guys and discuss possibly bringing somebody in from a hiring standpoint to do TikTok for us. All right. I'm doing YouTube. I'm doing the podcast. We got a presence on Twitter. Quarter Lab is about to ramp up on Facebook, and we might have to start this TikTok presence as well. And we've already also been on Spotify. So people continue to tell me that we need to carve out these areas because the podcast is very attractive, you know, and that we do a good job up here. So I credit all of us for that. I appreciate y'all, and we'll continue to make that headway and find ways to grow. Jay also said, what did I take the video of 50 Cent? Oh, so that's the Ja Rule and Max B and 50 Cent topic. Yeah, I think we get a nice walk down to that. But yeah, listen, let's not be out here trying to violate Max B's probation over something that they're both claiming didn't happen. All right, let's move on. Jay says, off topic, did you see there's another entry on Diddy's docket? I just looked at it. I did not know, love. So I will pull that up and we will probably have to address it tomorrow if it's something significant. I'll probably pull up the paperwork as well and see what's going on. All right. Jay says, clear his throat, pulverized, drops mic, leave show off alone. That is the homie. That is a friend to the podcast and a friend to the RBE family and movement, Jay. Leave show off alone. Jay also says, just F your B and some Gucci flip-flops. I forget what topic we was on for that, but you had that in there at 11:03. Or you got the music tunes around it. I did see you earlier talking about that throat grabbing shit, Jay. You better stop amongst all these guys in the chat. You know, hop in your DM, dog. All right. And this was you laughing about it? Or all right. Now when they start hopping and you can't, all right. Get your shit together. All right, chat. Happy Saturday. I'm about to go work out. Then I'm gonna do some work. Am I even going outside today? I don't know. But we will be back tomorrow with some fresh topics and fresh news. Today was for anybody that thought that because we had to do so much battle rap in the last week that we were off our game. This is more centered around more popular hip hop, industry level news and crime and all that stuff. So I wanted to catch up 100 minutes in overnight. Yeah. So there we go. Hour 40 minutes. Appreciate everybody for rocking the whole time. We'll be back tomorrow.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.